Hey everybody, we're down at Chadwick Arboretum this morning and I'm joined by Dr. David Shetler, who's an entomologist with The Ohio State University. And one of the problems that we have is Japanese beetles, and they've been really bad this year.
Yes.
Talk about what we can expect and some of the controls.
Well, the Japanese beetles are kind of interesting to me, and they really came out like gangbusters at the end of June, but they sort of kind of disappeared. They haven't disappeared. They're out there in that turf laying eggs right now, but after they lay that first batch of eggs, they're liable to come back and feed on some of their favorite plants.
Okay.
And obviously in the landscapes, a lot of people are using these knockout roses and things like that in their landscapes. And traditionally, rose flowers are one of the favorite foods that Japanese beetles have. And we actually can see here inside this red one, there's a couple of beetles in here. We'll scoot them out here. For those who don't recognize them, Japanese beetles are this dark iridescent green with a sort of a coppery wing covers on them.
We've got these little white cottony marks down the edges.
Right, they have those. Typically they'll feed on the leaves. On the leaves they'll skeletonize the leaves. Oh boy, there were a lot more
there
in
were
there.
a bunch in there, yeah, they sure were. Look at that, it just fell apart.
Yep.
Yeah.
They'll skeletonize the leaves, and so we've got an example here of the damage. But when they love the flower petals are full of sugars and are soft and liquidy and so forth.
It's like the candy.
Yep. Now the problem with controlling Japanese beetles, there's a lot of insecticides, including the neonicotinoids that we've heard of, that will really control these very well. But we have to be careful. This is a flower, and being a flower, are there pollinators that come in? What we find is that most of the hybrid teas, the knockouts that have multiple flower petals, it's not open enough for the pollinators to get into. But there are some of the older style roses that are the single flowers or double flowers.
Single petals and
those the pollinators will get into, so you'll want to avoid using a neonicotinoid on those. On the other hand, we do have another sort of organic insecticide called azadirachtin, which is the active ingredient in neem.
Neem, that's not the common name. I studied this stuff and my head gets a little fuzzy. So.
Right. Well, the reason why I say azadirachtin is that there are neem oil extracts out there. Those are just like using a horticultural oil.
Okay.
They really don't contain that active ingredient, the azadirachtin. So when you buy that container in the garden center, look at the bottom and make sure that it says azadirachtin on there, a certain percent, then you know you've got the right material.
Awesome. And you should apply that when the beetles are active?
Yep, just spray it on there. Now again, being a sort of a semi-organic material, it's only going to last for maybe 10 to 14 days.
Okay.
So you'll have to, if the beetles come back, you'll have to reapply it.
Now since you mentioned that they're actually in the lawns laying eggs, should we be putting a grub treatment down yet this year?
This is obviously the best time because not only do we have Japanese beetles, but we have masked chafers laying eggs also.
And we've got another video that we shot talking about specifically the masked chafer.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for watching. For Your Garden, I'm Tom Wood.